Yeah, this should be a banger as we get underway with the pistol. BC.Game already quite decisive action leaning over towards this B apartments. They will go for the pop, so smoke into the market door. They're just going to barrel through. USPs will be tested. Rigon tapping away, struggling to find the heads, but Naitu understands the assignment. Big kill, instant trades.
There we go, now a 3v4 on the retake. It is going to be tough here for Ence with no diffuse kit, no utility to speak of. The USPs will have to barrel their throughout here, especially from short as we're looking at some Young to try to deal most of the damage out here. Getting on in to the bomb site. Ence are gonna struggle. Here's the first one spotted. S1Mple looking for taps. And apparently the Glock is not gonna suffice. There you go. Headshot connected. And some Young has died right then and there. Invested a little bit into utility. They can bide their time. They can wait to figure out where BC.Game want to go. And it's going to be that A hit with a flash jumping right in the face of S1Mple. They're running in towards this jungle. 1-for-1 trade out of the 5-7. And now S1Mple is got to hold down jungle until his teammates plant away that bomb. Open position out here. Prime Taps helps out as BC.Game are going to have an easy plant. And Ence are going to pull the plug out here on this operation. They're not going in for any retakes. They didn't ever invest into a diffuse kit. So it's going to be 3 MP9s to hold on to, and BC.Game to have the start they really wished for.
Yeah, nice and tidy. 3 MP9s will be held on to, as you say, so there's a little bit of something to go into the next round with, rather than just what would have otherwise been a full eco. They aren't completely out of the question.
Yeah. So let me ask you a little bit about the veto out here, since it's pretty even.
We certainly could, yeah. It's difficult. It's difficult to sort of gauge what BC.Game have been doing behind the scenes and in the practice server, because we haven't seen too many matches out of them with these new additions. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a decided map either. Ence have looked very good on Dust 2 recently. They've given us signs of weakness over the past week. A couple of their games in the Star Series, and they... Ooh, wow, very tidy from Prime Taps. But yeah, they looked fantastic in their opening game, frankly, against Bet Boom. They really breezed through Dust 2 as well. That came up in the series, and I thought they'd have a very good chance of getting out of the group. And then in their winners game, they fell down to that lower bracket. They had to play against Fnatic to qualify into the sort of play-in stage for the main event, and they lost it. It went to 3 maps. It went the absolute distance. I think we might have even seen an overtime in there somewhere, and it was a bit of a heartbreaking loss. But yeah, I guess the moral of the story is sort of fumbling opportunities for bigger chances, and this roster definitely need to be able to take those bigger chances if they want a chance to qualify for the major.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about the fight for the major, right? And I'm surprised BC.Game aren't.
Надоели старые скины? Тогда тебе к нам, CS2 Case. Тебя ждет огромный выбор кейсов, которые пополняются каждую неделю. Прозрачная система шансов, которая позволяет гарантированно выигрывать хорошие скины. Прямо сейчас ты можешь получить бесплатный баланс по промокоду U и проверить свою удачу. У нас также есть контракты, апгрейды и даже бесплатные кейсы для наших игроков. Регулярно проводятся розыгрыши скинов и раздачи баланса в нашем телеграм-канале. У нас есть система, которой нет еще нигде. Система кэшбэков. Играй и получай 10% от своего депозита в конце недели. CS2 Case. Также в закрепленном комментарии тебя ждет промокод. Используя его, ты получишь 30% бонусов к своему депозиту.
You know.
I guess so. Just a lot of stigma around him, right? But yeah, he is a fantastic player. I think he could come back in. I just don't know who in place of. I don't think that he is looking better than any of the 5 that we're seeing here right now. I think Nex is a fantastic IGL as well. So yeah, a piece that you wouldn't want to be moving around.
S1Mple 1v5.
Oh, no chance. Right?
Yeah.
Does feel a little bit different. I think we're all used to it by now, but he was a hater. I think he was sort of thinking if he made enough noise about it, maybe Valve would change it back, but no luck in that department.
The ex-number 1 player, he was hoping, he was really trying.
Yeah, I mean, you would think you'd have a little bit more of a say, right? But, but yeah, they were stubborn as they always are. So
Yeah. Get his injury.
he had to adapt. He's not got his #1 status back, but definitely still very, very capable. HE into the lower tunnels is going to fall a little bit short. Won't do damage onto Kakanito. BC.Game playing a little bit slower into this one after going quite aggressive and quite fast in that last round and being shut down on B, realizing that they aren't able to just full W. You know, they are against a top 30 team.
Yeah. And it's definitely proving to show what they've got already to fight with out here into the A-bomb. So it's a 3-man stack ready for the intake of BC.Game. And walking through the smoke, Young, great for 2. Takes down Andu and Nexa. And out from middle as well, the crunch is still here. Kakanito, last man standing, 1v3. And he's already spotted out the one. Natu and Rigon left to hold over this bomb for 20 extra seconds. While Kakanito's taking these fights. Beautiful flashing kill there. It's a 1v1 and Natu's ready. But Natu wasn't ready enough. Kakanito to try to put that down. Prime taps on the bomb side already, though. Look at him just dropping on over and making noise. And are they going to take the bait out here, or are BC.Game just going to go for the complete swap? The 180 on the ideas. And yeah, with prime taps taking that much space, I wouldn't bet against it. It's a good plan. Simple on the peak. 1v1 Young. I'm sure a little bit of a, I don't think animosity, but a little bit of nostalgia going down there up against them. And now as BC.Game are going to be making their way through to the A-bomb site, Ence have taken their sweet time into trying to figure out where that bomb is actually going to get. It kind of felt like they were trying to go for a save earlier on into the round, even in the 4v4. And now that they have to really fight on in, they have to find Kakanito, and it's just not going to happen. Rigon finds him yet again, and Natu, even with this good kill through the smoke, I don't think is going to be enough to enable them for the retake. Should have found Nexa 2 there if they wanted to try it. It's a 5-1 start here for BC.Game on their own map pick. Mirage looking like the boys in green might have an idea of how to play it. Could you believe it?
Yeah, I mean, you'd expect it, right? Also, just, you know, and I hate to sort of break Counter-Strike down into a simple bare bones statement like this, because I always hate it when people do. I think, you know, there's far more depth to a map like Mirage than people give it credit for. It is still one of the more experienced players.
Yeah, but now the game's ready to go. We're back away from the technical problems, and it seems that S1Mple will get traded out here by Natu. With that young firepower coming in that we've always talked about. Get to see this being in contention. The 5-7s can definitely dish out the damage. Kakanito is also going to fall, so that's Young on an upgrade to an AK. And a 2v3 now continuing on. It's Andu and Nexa who have yet to put up a single kill individually. Still struggling to do so. Andu, great headshot though, is left in the clutch. 1v2 now, and he's got to play this one aggressive. He's not in a spot where he can just wait out the timer. Andu stuck behind bench right here, looking on in the left and right, but the side that he's not accounting for is Milty finding that flank.
Pricing himself in that regard, but saying, I'm very capable with this weapon, so let's see what he can do with it. Decent trade for the first.
There you go, Podio ready to fall. Natu is out here on control of the waterfall. How many can he find before he peeks out? He goes in aggressive. Big mistake out of Natu, I'd say. You had Rigon here to do that for you, and he's gonna do it quite damn well. Picks up the A1S from the ground, wants some more, and S1Mple not able to reply. That is gonna be Podi going down, but not in vain.
It's sort of accounting for in like a very top-heavy performance in individuals, but it's exactly that. It's top-heavy, right? You've got Kakanito going 12 and 6. Nexa hasn't found a kill yet. Andu's found 1, and it was completely irrelevant, right? It was in a 1v3. Yeah, having no impact whatsoever. You know, in the short term and in terms of like, you know, some of these flashy rounds and stuff, that's fine. And if Kakanito just has to sort of keep them relevant until the rest of the boys wake up, then so be it. But in the long run, if this continues, then Ence definitely have the advantage.
Right. Well, they're going to try to keep up that advantage, and it's a lovely spray and crossfire here for Podi and Young. to find that triple kill out of connector. S1Mple struggling to even find one there. Here's the Thai Nation with Blue Jays, with the entire old Serbian core, you know, that we remember in back in the day. Emmy, I feel like, is definitely one of the players that we used to talk about a lot alongside Dragon, and at some point it just kind of faded out ever since CS2, at least for me. And I feel like this transition to the coaching role could actually be his one and big step up.
Yeah, it's just a really interesting shift, isn't it? Like, I don't know whether to call it an upgrade or not, because he was playing within a top 30 team, and now he's coaching a team that are actually worse off in the rankings, I think. But I think the opportunity, yeah, that's the thing, right? That's kind of the point. It's for now. The opportunity to coach S1Mple, I imagine the contract may be a hefty one. I imagine he's maybe on more than he was at Partizan. And yeah, as you say, the ranking for them is for now, whereas for Partizan, they've kind of been sat where they've been sat for the past year, and I don't think that they're going to be climbing much higher. I think their ceiling is sort of where it's at. Nice Wriggle, shutting this down. They are not happy with BC.Game taking a 7th, so they will just put their foot...
Is going to be moving to that CT side, and already with aggression, Andu is gonna look a tad bit better than he was on the first half, but look at the team play out of Ence. To drop down all the way out into the A-bomb side, plant it quickly, and to find the space needed as well for the 3v3. This is great coming through out here for the T side, but can they keep it up? Because it's next to Kakanito and Prime Taps, the core of this team, looking to try to make a success out of this, and it's just not gonna be that easy.
Yeah, no fairy tale here. Pody
oh my god.
Makes damn sure of that. It's all on to Kakanito. We've seen some heroics out of him. We saw a sick 1v3 a little bit earlier on, but he does have the kit, to be fair. It's just the lack of health that I think is the big problem here. Taps the bomb, they're not going to give him the opportunity. Head will turn into the full body swing, and Someday Young will finish off the job. Counter-Strike that have so much impact and bring so much value to a team, but they aren't the ones putting up the big kills, and yeah, I think sort of giving them credit for those things is super important. S1Mple needs a bit of credit in this round too, because he's just cracked things open with 2 massive entries. They've now got a 2-man advantage.
S1Mple wants to go for more though. He's still hungry for these wins all these years later. He's still S1Mple. And he wants his team to be there with him, calling in for a bit of an engagement now. Andu able to come out of short and swing out, connects on another. Pody's last man standing on a post plant. Needs an ace to make it happen. I don't really see it working now, but there is that 1% chance that we see at the top of our screen that Pody gets to hold this. So, BC.Game, chop chop, you gotta get a move on. Spotted out where Pody is, looking on him for S1Mple as well. Gets a little bit of good damage in, and the smoke out there is not gonna help out the Molotov. So should be just a straight up defuse. And the fade away here from Pody. It's a nice attempt, but it's BC.Game with their first CT side on the board.
Yeah, if there was no smoke there, maybe there's a conversation to be had, but util.
Okay, this is a fast one out of Ence. They really want to pull the wool over their eyes, but Kakanito's not going to let them do that. And Nexus first couple of frags found out now. BC.Game happy with a hole like that, and
it's just going to be a full eco here from Ence. Low expectations as they'll fly out of middle. Should be a bit of a shutdown if they can find a kill or two, and I think they'll be pretty happy. Pody will be the first to drop, and S1Mple's making a bit of a meal of this, but there we go. Tidied up nicely, and yeah, pretty comfortable stuff.
That'd be cool though. It would make sense as well, seeing as where you're located now, and I'm not gonna dox you, neither him, so yeah. Advantage though, here for BC.Game, right? It's their CT side. They were looking to try to keep this up on Mirage, and seeing as how the first half ended after all with that 5-1 lead that they had, it's great to see now that it is going to be the CT side being able to put up the good holds. Andu able to pick up a couple of frags as well, equal out Prime Taps now, seeing as he was put in a lot of these risk-heavy positions on this T side, and he was not able to prove barely anything on that first half. Now he's here to show up. And, well, of course, as you would have it, S1Mple is the window player most of the times in these rounds. So he's going to be left to rotate. He's going to be left in a lot of these really impactful moments for the game. So there has to be that second top-tier fragger out here. And right now, that's not Andu. That's Kakanito, baby. He is 19-10, loving life right now.
Yeah, he really is popping off through and through. almost a 2 KD, whilst a couple of the other boys are going quiet. He's coming into this game very, very loud. Andu's stepped up as well, quite nicely. Good little crossfire set up here on B. Next up, we'll add another to his tally, but S1Mple doubles down. And yeah, this is the form from BC.Game.
Back. That's unfortunate. It does happen.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough. It's better to happen on a round like this when you've got the Glocks than on a full buy, I guess, but it's never ideal, is it? We'll group up here in the B apartments. HE is going to do a chunk of damage as well onto Miltsy, so him and Pody can be low HP buddies. They look to breach through this smoke. Here it is. Next up, blinded. Oh, God. He does end up with one at least. Now it's on to Andu to support.
Good thing you have Andu in short, though. He takes care of 2 and spotted out the bomb as well. S1Mple, last man here, but the Rigon finds a great headshot onto 1, and imagine if that second one connected as well. Would have put him in contention for the round, perhaps.
Yeah, this has been
yeah.
Oh, God, I was just going to say, it's been a bit of a slow start for him.
It has.
Here in half 2.
Wanted to say that. Let's try to, for his sake and for Ence's sake, be a little bit more optimistic, maybe glass kind of full out here for them. They still are up 11-8 and they're on a full buy, so if they can work this round out, maybe things could work. And Milty, this is the time to shine and prove me wrong. Trying to take down S1Mple here. Definitely no easy task, but he is gonna get through mid. Good smoke being thrown out to S1Mple. Forced out into B. Could allow a way in out here for Ence into the bomb side. You've got Natu lurking around towards ramp as well, and Kakanito could be in a world of hurt if he uncrouches here. It's all down to how that smoke really fades. Could actually show his head, and that's exactly what happens. 1 coming through for Miltsy, 1 coming through for some Da Young. You don't know where the enemy's gonna be now, so S1Mple is forced to anchor this B bomb site as the rest of BC.Game huddling around this A site. They have hit the nail on the head, though. They have found a good timing to take down 1, but the other is Miltsy out here onto stairs, leaving only prime taps in a 1v2 that's just not that winnable. Double peaked, and now leaving S1Mple into the 1v3, too far away with no defused kit. Will just force out the save on that AWP, and it is going to be Ence now, still with a chance into this game.
Okay, this is a bit of a curveball that came at a time that I wasn't really expecting it, with how convincing these last few rounds have been from BC.Game. I was not sure if we would see.
Well, it's their own map pick, so they're not having any plans to try to close it out. Let's see.
Yeah,
a
all or
more
nothing.
Spread out approach. Yeah.
Balls to the wall. Got to make this work, Ence. There's no AWP. Nothing for Pody to work with in that department. He kind of did have money if he wanted to. I believe there was cash there for it to be dropped over or whatever, but sticking with the versatility of these 5 rifles, going for a bit of mid-control off the back of it. Doesn't seem like BC.Game can be all too keen to contend it anyway, and there's no sniper in their department either. Big opening from Rigon, but traded right back by the bullets, and eventually the HE out of Kakanito. Less than a minute on this clock. Ence need to make their mind up. They've got fingers in all the pies. They've got one down in lower tunnels. They've got Sunday Young just sort of keeping tabs on the B apartments. You've got Nightu sat in ramp. It's all just about maintaining a bit of map control, making sure that BC.Game don't get aggressive and find themselves in like super positions. But
yeah,
30 seconds. They do need to start to regroup now and hit towards this A site.
This is all about middle too. Nobody putting up pressure as S1Mple has died. And it's a double peek at a connector that Kakanito manages to make advantageous here for his team. Pody still coming through though, makes things a bit more interesting. Nexa just hanging on in towards this ninja. Could find them both. Is a perfect timing, perfect spot to take down Andu, and Pody stuck out here. Natu will fall, Pody as well, and it's BC.Game up to map point. If he had that AWP, makes you wonder if he would have stayed tucked into window right there in the previous round. And even now, maybe he's watched a couple of too many Zaiwu demos, but it appears to have worked out as he has taken down Pody up in mid. And he's taking these aggressive stances with the rifle instead of the op, so he's going to be leaving himself quite open to a lot of these rotating roles, trying to stay all over the map, be a little bit more versatile. It is going to help out. Limited HP now for Ence as they're going to try to head on over towards the A-bomb site, and everybody's falling down to low, but S1Mple is here to try to clean up. Down to 73, he's fighting just very low HP. One bullet was needed to find A2 there as well, but now it's all up to the IGL. Nexa needs to clutch on a 1v3 to close out this game.
He's got util, he's got the nade, but he didn't want to deploy it. I thought he was just going to get it over to default to deny that plant. Instead,
it's going to work.
Down with the AK anyway. That HE will wipe out Night.
No way.
And the Mac 10's got a pressure, but there's no time. Nexa does pull off the 1v3. It felt like it was sort of handed to him on a silver platter. 13-2, 13-5, 13-6 against some top competition. So, barreling out onto the B site here in the pistol. All gas, no brakes, and headshots being connected as the USPs whiff a little bit. It's Prime Taps and Kakanito gone already. And a retake that's already ordinarily very difficult here on the B site. A Dust 2. They've got to try and do it with a man disadvantage.
And no defuse kit out here for S1Mple nor Undo. Nexus already down to low, and he's the one working the flashes. So Rigon goes aggressive, and that's the Rigon power you want to see from your new pickup out here for Ence. He's going in, he's not scared of combating and actually trying to fight a lot of these players out on BC.Game, and because of that, we're getting to see a lot of success out here for Ence. That's what we got to see on map number 1 as well. They were really putting up a formidable fight after being, you know, 5-1 down, being, what was it, 11-9 down, stuff like that, where Ence are just working the backbone of these players, trying to work from a deficit.
Dust 2 is a map that really, really does tailor towards that sniper. It's not going to go down. Prime Taps eats the HE, so taking a fair bit of damage early doesn't inflict any. It is all just about sort of presence here for Ence. Whilst they did pull a rotation towards B, they haven't kept that pressure applied, so BC.Game start venturing elsewhere.
Okay. Well, Ence, we've got a couple of avenues open, one of which we know is that B-bomb side. They don't yet, there's still smoke in play. Right now the fight on mid is happening. Rigon being, you know, all over the place with the aim, is trying to just catch off the players, moving away from those double doors, connect some decent shots, but nothing too critical out here for the CT side. S1Mple decides to abort the boost idea, and the better off for him actually. Would have been quite in a tough pickle. Two players out here from Ence still looking to try to fight the good fight here. The flash doesn't necessarily go a long way. S1Mple traded out by some Da Young, and now it's a 3v4 out here that BC.Game are fighting on a pretty decent disadvantage. The bomb wants to go to A, and there's 20 seconds left where that came from, so it's not going to be easy at all for the T side as well. Oh,
this is tough, but some Da Young carves them apart up short. Bodhi will follow up as well.
Night here from Ence that have been working out, and now with the damage heard onto Kakanito from that Molotov, it is going to be up to Ence to try to hold on to their pace and their position in towards top tunnels until they find that opening frag. BC.Game, reckoning they're a bit too passive, are actually going to be picking up the pace in towards middle. They're sending S1Mple out to investigate, and he has to work out here with Kakanito to get through top tunnels too. It's Milty with the bomb that's the issue here for Ence. If he drops, the whole round can be in peril.
Yeah, it's scary stuff. Kakanito's got a powerful position. I don't think Milty's going to drop and go for anything crazy with that bomb, but you know, with S1Mple's contact in lower tunnel, that's where it does start to come into question. It's a massive shot connected. For Kakanito, he doesn't need to move. He can stay in the corner. They're not going to venture down into lower tunnels. They've found space out onto the A sides. The bomb's going to work its way over. Again, there's a world there. There's a world there where S1Mple have just walked up mid and sort of catches the bomb in rotation. It's not going to matter. They retake the A site before it even falls. Now it is just onto Milty. He'll be caught out by Kakanito. It's a really good round from BC.Game.
So, really good movement out here from the AWP, and now it is up to Ence to try to push the pressure just a little bit extra to make sure that the previous round does not repeat itself. Next up, the first one to fall down on long is going to cause some rotations across the map, but look, I love the fact that BC.Game are taking up space into towards tunnels, so they know this is going to be an A hit, and they're just looking for that late activation on Andu's flank to secure a better position out here for BC.Game.
S1Mple. Sent with the sniper.
They're being faked out here quite well.
Yeah, this is... Well, so far it's worked very well for Ence. You can sort of see that, yeah, these over-rotations have come in, but it's such a long rotate round to B as well that you would expect in the next couple of seconds Andu to realise this, but no. They are fully retaking A. They're still yet to realise that nobody's here. And if Ence pull the trigger out onto the B site now, they have it for free. And the rotations aren't even going to be ready.
That was beautiful from Pody. He was dropped all the util and he times it just right that everybody from BC.Game goes back onto A. It's just Andu on a good timing to actually get into this bomb site. But the only man he actually stops with that smoke is going to be some Young a little bit later down the line. Half HP, he drops the bomb to the site. And he's not even going to fall yet. It's a good flank around in from tunnels, but it can't deny the bomb from being planted. So it's a 4v5 on a retake. That's really tough out here for BC.Game, especially with no flashes here to work with. They've got nothing out here, MNJ. Nothing to get back into that bomb site. So it is going to be Ence taking that 5th on the board.
Just circles being run around them in this round. S1Mple hoping for some exits, but frustration that you can't get more out of a round like this because... it's one they heavily invested into. Just that B site here on Dust 2. A real plague so often. Just a massive overcommitment and over-rotation at the start. Causes them all those issues. S1Mple dying to the bomb there as well is really unnecessary. Like
back down to a 6-6 split. So it's not like BC.Game can choose to recreate that. All depends on just how the pace from Ence is going to be looking. Great grenade onto Pody. But middle, still quite empty. It could be another avenue here for Ence to move into this B-bomb site.
it could be. Probably should be. But that bomb's been left behind. It's tucked in. Next to Xbox.
Setup still ran. Oh!
Ooh. That's a big start from Prime Taps. That's a big time for it as well. We question this double AWP setup, but it may be the answer.
Might be. And CT side again makes more sense to bring it out. So even in a big money round like this, BC.Game taking a little bit of a gamble, and it might be paying off. Finally, Nexus engagement in towards long does pay off his dividends too, and it's just Kakanito here to hold on. S1Mple taken out from mid. Just a dink out there onto some Young, as that's all that BC.Game could muster up out here for this hold. Now it's going to be up to the retake, and Pody gets very lucky that Nexa doesn't connect that headshot. Instead goes to the body as he moved just a slight second after he started shooting. Andu and Prime Taps are forced to the save because of it. They don't have the information that Pody's down to half, that some Young is down to 14. Ence get another one on the board, and that just continue to escalate the advantage.
Yeah, that's rough. With the amount of damage that was dealt there, you'd really sort of tee them up to have a good advantage there on that retake. And as you say, if Nexa connects, which he should have, then that would have made all the difference.
For it as well, so it's straight up to B out here. It's going to be up to Andu to really deny a lot of this, as Prime Taps is going to be staying on window. He's not going to have the first engage. It's up to Andu indeed to try to find these kills, and it's only good for one. Pody on the spray transfer finds Prime Taps all the way up to window. Wins the round off immediately. What happened there?
Wow, wow, wow. Mechanics from Pody. Beautiful stuff. Rigon, yeah, as you pointed out, had bought the MAC-10 out of choice, not necessity. There's more than enough money for whatever he wanted, but he had the B-spawn and he said, I'm just going to spearhead this. I'm going to run in, just make sure you trade me. Pody does exactly that, and he does it very, very well. So, yeah, we are going to see a 7th out of Ence. This is much better. Much, much better than Mirage. And it's surprising that there can be this kind of disparity. There can be this huge difference in level between maps, right? Because yeah, they weren't there on Mirage. They weren't playing like this on Mirage at all.
I mean, on the comeback they were, and it feels like now you start asking questions about more output from the other 4 players on BC.Game's team, other than just S1Mple right now.
I think this is sort of something I touched upon in that first map as well, right? Long game, everybody playing a consistent level is always going to be one or two superstars. Now, BC.Game did step up towards the end of Mirage, and we saw everybody sort of shooting back, but at the very start of the map, it was quite literally just Kakanito and s1Mple that was really doing anything. Primetaps was somewhere in the middle. Andu and Nexa were completely absent. Yeah, we're kind of starting to see that again, aren't we? It's like s1Mple's playing exceptionally well. Everybody else, we're not really seeing anything out of them.
And this time he doesn't have Kakanito, right? So
yeah. And it won't suffice against a team like Ence. It just won't. It might against like a team outside of the top 50. It's not going to suffice against Ence.
Well, Ence are definitely going to be taking that advantage until BC.Game make a change, right? So they're trying to get as many rounds on the board as they can, and now with 30 seconds left to go, it's up to round number 9 to see if they can put yet another one up. Andu out into mid is going to be the first engagement out here as Rigon actually drops into CT. This still could be a B angle as Natu, allowed to connect onto prime taps, is just s1Mple here to hold in a 3v1 essentially. Moves back in towards tunnels, an amazing flash coming through from whoever threw it. It's an IGL duel here as Nexa is coming on in and does find the head of SumDayoung. That's Nexa on the clutch, and just like the previous couple of rounds that BC.Game had to end on for the first map, we get to see the IGL start clutching up back again in a much needed moment. BC.Game need the rounds.
Yeah, a bit of a clutch demon Nexa, even when he's not been able to have bounce here. We go 7-5, and they're absolutely sort of back in the picture for the T half. Love this initiative from s1Mple. Playing over the top of the Xbox smoke. Oh, if they swing from top mid, he knows he's dead. Has to come off on the timing. That's a shame. I don't think they would have been expecting that. He would have been good for a freebie. Flash over the top, and oh, just bites off more than he can shoot. s1Mple can't take more than one. He'll be overwhelmed, and it's all going wrong.
Yeah, high pressure moment out there, but Nexa finally able to win out his engagement onto long, even though he had sacrificed a teammate. So now needs to win another one, and it just doesn't work that well. It's a double peak, and Nexa isn't even able to get out one with, so Prime Taps is left into 1v3. And the bomb is already on its way to short, so they're playing this one very frugally, Ence, very carefully. Gonna molly off short, and it's up to Prime Taps to find a big clutch out here with Natu on 20 HP. It's really up to SumDayoung to win this one out. And that's why Natu out of the fight, and now position known for Prime Taps. SumDayoung out into elbow, and Prime Taps is surely gonna check this. Sees the head, connects it. Prime Taps, much needed moment out of him to keep BC.Game in this very game. Well played.
Jeez. Okay.
But for Ence, it's like, you know, there's something wrong here. We've lost these 2 rounds when we had such a big momentum, such a big tempo. What's the change? What's happening? So it is gonna be interesting to see if Ence are gonna be keeping the same game plan or changing something unnecessarily here. As BC.Game still putting those risks into the round. But hey, maybe it works, because Nexus finally found his pace in towards long. He's finally winning out these engages. So that means a lot for the team right now.
It certainly does. s1Mple. Just on the angle. He's already fallen, and yeah, that 7-5 dream is absolutely still alive, and actually looking kind of likely at this point when you realise that Ence aren't going to have a whole lot of cash in the bank if they lose this one.
Yeah. I just noticed as well, Milty. Tough game on this one too. Struggled on first. We thought it was a warm-up issue, you know, just first map. Struggling on map number 2 is really not needed now for Ence when they're trying to make it to quarterfinals. Nexa gets out with 2 out of long doors. Longhouse manages to find his flank, forces Ence to the fight. Either way, they had to go there. It's 25 seconds left, and Pody only able to clean out on 1. Natu At the very least, finds Andu as well, but the timing's all wrong, and Nexa's up to it, wants to deny that bomb, but the smoke saves them. It's at least a bomb plant here for Ence in a 2v3. Nate2, struggling on 4 HP, is gonna fall, and Nexa finds the double, makes it clean, makes it poppy, as it is gonna be BC.Game now good for 3 in a row to start making this comeback real.
Okay, yeah, this one doesn't require a crazy clutch. This one's a little bit more consistent. Would have been. It does still mean 2 Mac 10s in play. They're going to try and run it down to B again. They've had a lot of success with this in the past, but this time, no double entry out of Pody means no success. And a minute 35 on the clock with a 2-man disadvantage.
Yeah, good luck, Ence. I mean, they've worked through a couple of clutches before, but that was again at the beginning of this half when BC.Game were still struggling really individually. Now they seem to have woken back up, and Nexa has been the one that has been doing that the most. So he's up left onto this A-bomb site to hold until cavalry arrives from CT. 3v4. Pody, Young, and Rigon. Whole task ahead. Looking on in, Rigon, good headshot on the first, but the player coming up the ramp is gonna be Andu. Good. Happened. His perspective must have been crazy. S1Mple was struggling on those dualies, but I just don't know how Nexa died at the beginning there. See? This is not the first shot. Should have been huge out there onto Andu. Yeah. Falls apart. BC.Game could get to the bomb site, but we do have a couple of lineups here for the CT's. Ence connect onto with some Young's help from the previous round. Now keeps up the same position, finds those same 2 headshots. Nexa feeling the hurt, and S1Mple connecting an amazing headshot, finds Pody as well. It's S1Mple and Prime Taps making the 2v4 happen and turning things back around in BC.Game's favor.
Out to this map, and he's stepped up. He's now sat 10 and 10. He's one of the top honchos on the scoreboard in the server as a whole. S1Mple's having a bit of a field day, tapping in mid. They seem to have lost Pody, which is awkward, but I'm sure they'll find him.
Even a single USB head, that is going to do him much, even with this position, to find kills, find damage out here onto the T side. They're all really holding him, but yeah, those were some nice controlled headshots coming out of S1Mple to boost his cash and boost his KD as well. BC.Game 8-6, and this is what I was talking about, right? Because Ence realized they've made it 8-4 in the
up, and assuming they take a couple of casualties as well, they might be able to snatch away that orb, upgrade the Galils and the Mac 10. This is an effective bonus round, and they've already found that first frag. The domino to fall is Miltsy. You pointed out he'd had a slow series, and Young makes up for it. That's massive.
Such a late Molotov in towards car, doesn't really let them get through, and Rigon helps out as well. Mistakes out here by BC.Game on the macro game might just cost them the entirety of this round. Before you push there, you always send out the Molotov. It came in just that tad bit too late. Young allowed to overtake, and now a 2v3 where we really need to see Kakanito step up to the plate. It's Prime Taps up into short, and he's got his teammate behind him. Will the head peek out from ramp is the question. There it is, and not connected upon. Prime Taps at least gets him in the end. Will be a bomb plant. No defuse kit here. Pody is on the AWP, but he's quite far away to come in through CT. So this is really going to be tough for Ence, and they might just choose to save. Yeah. Josh, it's 8-7. It's BC.Game. Back into it. Or at least it's looking like it.
Are they going for the save? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it felt like they were, and you know, you've got to make sure that you commit to these things and kind of own your decision, right? You're either backing away and saving, or you're not. If you're not, then you need to fully commit, and if you are, then you need to make sure that you hold on to those rifles, because it's disaster when you meet somewhere in the middle and you kind of give it a little stab, but not enough, and you end up in this really awkward bit. But
struggling to cope with the change for now. Pody, if he dies here, no more AWP into the next round too, so we're gonna get to see a bit more defensive Ence come out of this round. At the very least this time though, they do have defuse kits, so a retake is on deck. Is a possibility. Very interesting as well, the way that Nexus calling out these rounds, right? He has a very wide repertoire of strats he can go for. The map doesn't really help him, but BC.Game, they've gone really quick, they've gone really slow. It's a good look here for Nexa, focusing on his individual as well as managing to call out a good game on map number 1, and now managing to come back here on map number 2 as well. He needs this in his career too, you know, like finally a step up now with S1Mple helping him. Next has been around the block, man, and he just wants his moment to shine, his moment in the spotlight a little bit more than he did before.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's capable of bringing a team back up to the levels, the heights that he's played at. Right now, though, they are being met with major resistance on this B-bomb site. Ence are not letting anybody pass. That'll continue. Nexa does take one, but an instant trade back. It's all on to S1Mple, and with 5 seconds left, there's of course no option. So, to just hold on to this. Some big early damage inflicted. Won't necessarily know that he's done it, but whenever you're sort of holding that cross and you go for the flick, you can normally kind of feel that you've hit it, if that makes sense, and have a pretty decent idea. Yeah, I think I've landed the tag there.
Melty needs to do something here desperately, but the flashes too good. S1Mple throws both out. Melty out of contention for that long hold. It's BC.Game on a 4v4, heading up into this A-bomb site. But the smokes really buy up a lot of time here. And I like the fact that Ence go back to mid. They realize it's either do or die. We hold in short, we hold into this front shot mid, figure out what works and what doesn't. Because we have no other information. And BC.Game, well, they've taken in the bait. Their game plan is figured out, yet Ence are in a man disadvantage. Options dwindling by the second. 35 seconds left to get into this bomb site. It might start to become a real issue if BC.Game don't start pressing that W key.
Their Pody's on the angle as well. They need to make sure that they either flash him off or they insta-trade if he lands the shot, and, well, it's the former. Now, S1Mple will be posted up on the angle. No chance for Pody to get anything more out.
Here for BC.Game, seeing as how the scoreline is so close, you're taking every advantage you can hold on to, latch on to. And there's a rare W here for Kakanito as well. That'll be the entry in towards short, which might be forcing BC.Game's hand to actually peek into this angle. If Pody goes down, it's a quick round here for BC.Game. That is a big if, and look onto the minimap as well, Natu. The only one that can even be thought to go down to that B-bomb site. S1Mple takes him through the smoke.
Oh man. It is cruel. The S1Mple domination continues here. We were saying that, you know, he had an exceptional first map, but he wasn't the hardest hitter. There wasn't like a big carry out of him. It feels like he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders now. He is sort of taking up that responsibility and saying, all right, well, it doesn't look like we're going to win unless I go big. So maybe I will have to do a bit of carrying. That's what we're seeing right now. Good work being done. Still needs more. Pody flashed off the angle. They're just going to try and rock their way up short. There are two here on the ramps. They need to be very careful with this.
Yeah, but look, they figured it out. BC.Game had a bit of a look in towards that B-bomb site, and it was just enough to plant away the bomb, make it 9-9, and Ence are now the ones that have got to be wary of this T's hunting them. Because look, there's cash in the bank here for the T side. They can comfortably go in for these hunts, which would definitely benefit them, because Ence are running dry on cash at the moment. And with Andu hitting headshots like that, well, it is definitely working out here for the T side. Melty's just desperately trying to stay alive. Deals damage with the incendiary. Does take out Andu, but it's only really one. There you have it, BC.Game. Beautiful hunt out here from the team.
There you go from here. Again. There it is again. Again from S1Mple. 3 rounds in a row. 3 rounds in a row. Someone from Ence is limping away. A brutal, brutal start. It is just the pistols. They should be made light work of, and this will be BC.Game onto 10.
There you go. Should be indeed 5 7s and pistols out here looking for just some cheap headshots they can find, and well, only one was good. As that is going to be BC.Game looking up to double digits first. It's Andu. On par for the ace actually here. He's found the 4th. He's searching for the 5th. I don't think Pody is gonna give it to him. But that definitely is gonna help Andu's confidence go up. Even if it's just against pistols, it's him getting back in, connecting those headshots, feeling good on the server. And we've definitely been seeing it. Because when BC.Game were losing, Andu was barely having any kills. And now everybody out here from BC.Game, bar one, because there always needs to be one, everyone's come back in.
And then to just roll over and die here on Dust 2 when there was 7-1 down. It was only a matter of time before they started giving us something, but this is more than something. This is a hell of a lot. Andu falls early, but s1Mple is still smashing shots. Primetaps has found a head elsewhere too. And this is for 11 rounds. And to push Ence back onto no cash, they would be in prime position to take 12, to take map and series point qualification into the quarterfinals. A match that we sort of teed up to say, yeah, this is probably going the distance. This is probably going to 3 maps, and
dead end. Yeah.
Yeah, BC.Game don't want to play 3 maps.
There you go. I mean, you have to give it to s1Mple as well. It's s1Mple. He's s1Mple, and there's not that many oppers that could just go down middle, refrag onto Pody, and manage to still scale up short, find that second frag, and essentially find around here. Because Ence, on an effective 2v4, it's not like it's really going to be easy to get back into any bomb site. So Ence already pulled the plug. They don't have the cash to work with it either. Yeah, it's 11 on the board here for BC.Game. A huge comeback being made, and now ready to try to send it home on a 2-0 up against Ence as well, who are having a really decent start on both of these maps.
Indeed, they were hunting now to look at the money. It's got to a point where for BC.Game, they say s1Mple's got 8k in the bank. It'll be 10k after the bomb goes boom. 5 figures. It's enough to justify him getting a little exploratory. Flashes over the top. Kakanito finds one. s1Mple will be traded.
Let's see it. MP9's dealing damage. It's the pistol out of Natu to take down 2 on short. There you go. Things are changing around. It's not all over yet though. Let's not put our hands on our heads just yet. It is Primetaps to come back through. Natu taken care of. And it's still a 3v3 that can definitely be dealt with out here by BC.Game. The scout out of Pody, taken out as well by s1Mple. And some Da Young and Milty left into this 2v3 will be able to salvage guns, but it will still be a very tough engagement out here for the remaining players of the CT side. Primetaps fully blinded. They're walking by each other right now. Ships in the night, inside of the smoke, and there's 2 where that came from. Suddenly, Primetaps somehow keeps them at bay.
Surely. Not one that Ence are going to go for now. Yeah, they have to just hold on to that AK, hold on to that AWP, get on out of there. Play for OT. It is one hell of an attempt from Nightyu, but he finds those 2 kills. I was confident that Ence were going to just throw that spanner in the works that needed to come. You know, you go into a round like this, they made the right call to not overinvest. They made the right call to just go for the pistols and say we're going to have a full buy in that sort of 12-9 round. But
0. It's never been done ever since then. It's taken this many months for Ence to lose on a 2-0 if BC.Game get through into this one. And they have not known this kind of defeat in a while. It would really hurt them, especially going into so many events. BC.Game showing up such a good game right now. They've only lost in 2-1 fashion, yeah.
Oh, Nightyu's super aggro though in the T-spawn, and this doesn't really give them options. Primetaps has found the entry out along, and it sort of commits them to this. Because they're sandwiched in. And unless Andu can find an escape route, which he does, then A has to be the destination. I think it might be anyway, but now the pressure's off. The 4v2, Andu and Prime Taps are low, so they need to be careful. This could still go wrong. As it stands, they're in a decent position. They're in a very good position, in fact. I'll give them a little bit more credit.
Yeah. S1Mple coming in. He's out onto Longhouse, ready to execute. Could be the final moments we have of this best of 3. BC.Game are gonna walk up, and Rigon, if he finds more than 2, this is still very doable. Spots out Andu, can't take him down. Young comes in from long, and it's really up to Rigon, who finds the 2 needed. There you go, it's down to Nexa, 1v2, and he's gonna run away. He has the bomb indeed. Is anybody gonna pick him in from CT? Doesn't even matter now. It's still a 1v2, and with no util left out here for Ence, this isn't over.
They're not even going to start to rotate until that bomb goes down as well. So this is already going to be sort of a third of the way, maybe even halfway ticked before they get into position. And they're scrambling around, trying to swap out Rigon's AWP for a rifle. Aid goes in, decent damage onto Nexa. He will confirm they're both coming up from the doors. Now he's just got to land the heads, but they'll both swing together. And Nexa doesn't even pull the trigger. I like the idea to grab the bomb and go B. But yeah, it was not up to scratch for the clutch.
I think it's spawn.
It's spawn-based. It's spawn-based. He had the long spawn. He'll go and swap back now, I think, but...
No, Simple's on the other side of the map. There's no way. He's holding on to the op. Simple. Left to the AK.
Definitely go and swap now. He's on 12 HP. There you go. They're even going to go and...
There you go.
Arrange a little meet and greet in C-spawn. Yeah. Give me that back, please. Thanks. Alrighty.
Okay. Well, Ence have found a lifeline into this game, and they're not about to just throw it away. Beautiful flash out there from shore, but it's still gonna be some Young to fall first. Good kill out of Nexa to peel away for Andu. And now a 4v5 where Simple's looking low, but it doesn't matter because he's Simple. He's not gonna overpeak this. Not gonna overplay it. Just waiting on BC.Game to make a move.
You might. You definitely could. There's a HE in play still for Milty as well if it's deployed in the right place. Get that AWP out of commission, but for now, he's holding long. BC.Game seem to be set on possibly bombarding out of short here. I don't know. I mean, the bomb's gone back to lower tunnels. They've still got options. They've got the man advantage. Simple's kind of made a glass right now. Tank from anything would get him finished, but this is interesting. He's going to drop through the smoke. This is so sick from Andu. This is so sick. And now they'll route to B.
There you go, beautifully done. It's all up to Nate too. He's hearing all the steps being gone, and Andu, he sure finds one, but it's all up to Milty, 1v3, and it's up to Simple to close it as the narrative goes. 22-9. Simple shows us how it's done,